Welcome back to From Cookies to Closings. I'm Nicole Wilkie, your host, and today we're diving into investing in the Capital Region. Real properties, real numbers, real life strategies that my husband and I actually use to grow our own portfolio. We're breaking down purchase prices, renovation costs, rental income, and of course, how to get started. And don't forget to stick around for our delicious cookie review at the end of the podcast. Let's get into it. Hello, and welcome back to From Cookies to Closings. I'm Nicole Wilkie, and today I'm excited because we're going to be talking about investing in the Capital Region. And here with me today is Natasha Golaz. So welcome.
Thank you for having me again. You know, I love being here, and today's a good episode. We will be talking about investing in real estate and what it could really do for you, generating wealth and just passive income for you.
It's very exciting because we do get asked multiple times from investors, what's the best way to get started? And today we're going to dive deep with real details, real properties, and real tips. So let's go.
So, Nicole, you do have some investment properties yourself already in the Capital Region. What made you get into that? Or can you explain a little bit to our audience exactly how you started? We need the first step. How did you get financing? Where did you find the property? We need step by step for this episode is going to be teaching everyone how to get investment properties.
Sure. That's a great leadway in. So excited to provide this information to everyone. So basically, me and my husband and my son, wanted to start getting into investment properties. So what we did was we scoured around to friends, family, neighborhoods, and tried to find off-market deals. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that's one thing that's nice about us in our field, right? Sometimes we have connections with off-market properties, and that's exactly how we got started.
Would you say going off-market is a better chance to get your investment property, or would you go looking through MLS, Zillow?
I would still use MLS, Zillow, whatever's online if it's actually listed. It's okay, but the numbers have to make sense. Mm-hmm. Okay, and we're going to kind of dig into that. So the first one we did find off market, it was actually through somebody I know, and it was a property located in Green Island, a little gem of a town, and it's a multifamily. We bought it. We actually took a equity line of credit out on our existing home. And so what we did was we found this property. It was $100,000. It was a few years ago. The market keeps going up, but we did luck out and we found this property built early or late 1800s, I should say. Very old property, needed a lot of work. Okay. So we bought that. We thought that we would put in about $50,000, some paint, some electric.
What did you buy it for?
$100,000.
Okay.
Yeah. So $100,000 for a multifamily is a good deal, even though it needed some love.
No, okay. It has potential out there.
Correct. So don't shy away from things that need some work. But what we did was we budgeted for $50,000, ended up spending about $75,000 on it. Always have extra funds available because you can do a budget, but more than likely rehabbing, you're going to run into issues that you didn't foresee.
Set expectations that you might go over budget.
Correct.
So.
Absolutely. Yes.
Especially renovating, things come up, things happen. You may need to redo certain things. So I totally get that. You probably did a little over budget, but
we did. It's okay. Yeah. So what we did was we paid $75,000, had contractors in there. The reason that we got into this besides the passive income for the future was to have my son work with the contractor and actually learn hands-on skills on how to start doing these things himself. So it was a great learning tool as well. So he did work with the contractor. And so anyway, we finished that up. And what we wanted to do was obviously rent it out, but cash out, do a refi on it. So first things first, we rented upstairs unit and we get $1,500 for up there. They pay their own utilities. And downstairs, we opted opted to do short-term rental. Sometimes people overlook this and think that when they get a multifamily property that they should just get tenants that stay there, right? Year after year. But for us, we wanted to kind of diversify it a little bit so that we knew we would always have somebody paying $1,500 for the upstairs. And what we decided was to do a short term for downstairs. And what that
You're getting a consistent 15 upstairs and then your short term downstairs.
Yes.
Okay.
And so what that does for us is we did furnish the downstairs. So we took that cost on, from the kitchen, the pots, pans, knives, rugs, bedding, and everything, made it look really nice, and then, put it out there. And what we're attracting are traveling nurses, professional people like professor at RPI. We've had some sport teams, just different professional people that come and rent it. So what we're renting the downstairs for is $1,950, so almost $2,000. So we took a property that we put less than $200,000 into and are doing quite well with, with our rents.
Over $3,000 a month on just that. And then how long would you say it took until you started making your money back from all the money you put in?
It's really immediate. The payoff is immediate. So obviously, we did use that property to cash out refi. So what we did was we contacted our local lender that we work with all the time. They're great. And you can take 90% of the value out. Okay. So what that means is the appraisal came in at, oh boy, I don't even really remember honestly, but I would say $225,000. It might have been $230,000. So already we had a lot of equity into the property. So we pulled 90% of that out and bought another property. So we're just rolling the system. So yes, we're borrowing the money from a lender, but it makes sense to us because what we're getting back.
Investment.
Correct.
And it all comes back, and that's where the passive. Before you jump to your second property that you say you bought, let's go back a little bit to your first property. It seems a little too quick, too easy. Like, what are some of the things that you did overcome during the whole process? Like, when you say you put in more money for budgeting after you did a whole bunch of repairs and renovations, what were those renovations? What caused you to go over budget? Was there issues that came up when you tore down a wall? Was there any mold? Was there any issues behind the scenes that don't seem so peaches and cream and you
really want to dig it down deep?
Yeah.
Okay, and we'll do that. So sure. So property one that we were talking about, old building, obviously, electric needed to be updated. There were some rooms, like the bedrooms had no overhead lights. So to us, we wanted to, I know it's common in older houses to just use lamps, but we wanted to be able to have lights in the ceiling of the bedroom. So we had some expenses that we didn't really account for that were behind walls.
Did you have an electrician come in and professionally go through all the walls, making sure all the wiring was okay and all your outlets and everything?
So we did. And there was cost associated with that we didn't really foresee. Wood paneling that we did paint over, but then in some spots, we removed it and it broke the wall behind it, and we had to do repairs, sheetrock.
More tough, like elbow grease you gotta use to get into it than just like getting your investment property, getting it renovating it, then getting it rented out, and then just making money from it. So let's jump back even further than the repairs. I know you said you found your property like off the market, but what were your steps? You went and got financing. Did you guys already have the money saved up? You said you grabbed.
We took it from our current home, our resident where we live. We resided. We had enough equity in that property to actually do an equity line of credit. So
is that a part of that BRRRR method you were going to be speaking on, or?
Well, that's just how we started it. So first we needed, we didn't want to use our own cash, right? So we wanted to use the bank's cash. So at that time, interest rates weren't too bad. So what we did was we just did a line of credit. We pulled it out of our existing house, took that money. So now it's cash. So we could buy that property cash. And then we had extra money that is where we paid for the renovations. And let me just jump back into the renos. I mean, we did a lot to it. So it's not just paint and a little bit of electric. Like we basically redid complete bathrooms in both units. The kitchens were tore out. Flooring was done throughout. The first floor has beautiful hardwood floors. They were not beautiful when we acquired the property, but we have a great hardwood floor guy. Dan is the man. And he came out and made them beautiful, and they still look beautiful to this day.
Did you use a lot of your own vendors that you use in real estate to do some of your investment property work?
Great question. So we use some of the vendors that are on my sheet, but we also have a contractor that is more like a family friend.
Okay.
And so he was the one that was very patient with us, and he went down. He's excellent. He went down there and he did most of the work. Again, my son was there and put in a lot of time with him just to learn. And now I'm happy to say, my son can handle most of the things going forward.
Does take care of the office unit upstairs now and the yard and everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He does a lot. He does. So it was more of a learning experience. We did have to, I didn't anticipate costs for, I was naive to it, dumpsters and junk removal. And I mean, the house had a ton of stuff. Like it was not a pretty home, but it does look pretty now. And the people that are residing there, my tenants, they like it. They're still there.
All right. So I understand a little more about your first property and what you took to get to where you are. But now we're on to your second property. You did get your second investment property from cashing out on your first property, and you still do own your first property. When I say like cash out, it just means you refinanced your house.
Correct.
You were able to take the money from that and purchase your second investment property to keep the ball rolling. What did that take or look like? And do you remember the cost of purchasing it?
I believe it was about $150,000. Actually, I think it was $157,000. So $157,000 for another multifamily, two units.
Is this one also in Green Island?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah. And this one was a little unique. So the first floor unit was livable. It was pretty nice. It did have granite countertops, which I was surprised at, but the cabinets were a little bit older, like oak cabinets. And we did do some renovations to the first floor, but not a lot. It didn't require too much. So we were thankful and, happy with that. But upstairs was a complete mess. So 30, 40 years ago, they had a roof leak and they never attended to up there.
Okay.
They had stripped out the sheetrock, or plaster. Oh no, that's a lie. I think we removed all the plaster up there. So it was in really rough shape. The ceilings were exposed. I mean, there was a new roof, so it wasn't still leaking, but there was a lot of damage up there. Okay. It was not livable. There was no kitchen. The bathroom was disgusting. The bathroom was very, very small. So what we ended up doing with that one, we learned a lot from the first one. We had a bigger budget for the next one, property number 2 that we're talking about. And
probably got some tips and tricks from your first investment property.
Yes.
So all it takes is one to get your experience, and then you keep going.
Yeah, and you do better the next time, right? So we treated it like a brand new build. So we stripped everything out of there, all the plaster, walls, everything, took it down to the studs, saw that the studs weren't really up to code, replaced all of those. So a lot more work than we anticipated. We put new ceiling joists in. We hired a contractor to do that. That was like $10,000 or $12,000 just to do that. So a lot of costs went into this one. I think we were all in for about $85,000 to $90,000.
So this one cost more.
Cost more for renos, even though the downstairs didn't take a lot. We put a lot into upstairs, but it does look just like a brand new house now. Everything's sheetrocked, recessed lights. The floors are beautiful. The kitchen is gorgeous. It's a large kitchen, white shaker cabinets, granite. The bathroom, we ended up taking one of the bedrooms and expanded out the bathroom. So it's a walk-in shower. It's really nice now. It has laundry.
So it was really worth
features.
It.
Yes.
Was it a lot to get through? How long did that take, would you say?
That took about 7.5 months.
Okay.
So it took some time. I would have liked it done in 5 months, but every project, that's another thing. They always tend to run a little bit longer. There's always delays. We had some plumbing issues that we had to have them come back out and address. We had to wait for the windows. We've replaced windows. I mean, everything in there has been redone. It's like, it's so nice. Yeah.
I'll have to look at some pictures from you if you have any.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
I'll show them to you.
That sounds good for all those renovations. When do you think you'll be done with them all?
Within a month,
Okay.
everything will be completed. We're moving pretty fast on the upstairs unit, and we're going to short-term rent it out. So we have furniture that we're buying now, and that'll be ready in a month.
All right, so this is your last one done in a month, or you see some more in the future, some more investment properties?
We'll definitely have more investment properties in the future. I'm looking at MLS right now. I'm looking every day.
Okay.
But for now, we're going to get through this. We're going to rent out this upstairs unit for $19.50, and we'll see what the future brings.
All right. That sounds really good for somebody who has a house to start investment properties. Let's go to a different perspective from, it sounds great. It worked great for you, and I can see that, and it works in real time. You have real properties in the capital region that are working for you. You are making your passive income. But what about somebody who, like myself, who doesn't own their first property? How can I get financing? Is there any other routes that I could go down to get into investment properties? Like, I know
Absolutely.
you were going to bring up some about owner occupied. Can you explain
Yeah.
a little bit more about that to me?
Absolutely. So that's number one, owner occupied. So I would highly recommend, if you don't have a situation like myself, right? Or if I were just starting out, I wish somebody told me this when I was much younger to get going on this, but it's never too late. So
Never.
for someone who doesn't have a home with equity to pull from, or doesn't want to utilize cash that they have, great way is owner occupied. Search the internet, talk to friends, family, try to find off-market deal, find a multifamily that makes sense for you, right? So what that means is move into one of the units.
You want it to be multi-unit.
Multi-unit is going to work for you best. So move into one of the units, fix it up as you live there, little by little.
Would
Room
you
by
recommend
room.
a 2 or 3 family?
If you can afford a 3-family, why not? You're just
Right.
collecting a little bit more in the future. It just depends on what's out there, how much, and what
you can start off on.
Correct. Yeah. And don't get overwhelmed. So don't buy, let's keep it reasonable. Let's keep it
Exactly.
the way. So live in one, rent the other. Your mortgage will basically pay for itself. You're going to live for a couple $100 a month. Sounds like a great idea. Right?
Other tenants are paying your mortgage. What they say is let the house work for you, don't work for the house. So I think that's a good start for people who may not be in the same position as you, maybe to get into it without having that equity in a
Correct.
house just put as a new purchase or down payment on a new purchase or anything like that. So
I mean, yeah, if you can buy a house, right? There's 2 families out there. I have one listed right now, $229,000 for a 2-family. They were renting each unit for $1,500 each. So if you were to move in one, collect $1,500 or $1,600 a month, your mortgage is paid for. You're living there for free. You're fixing it up. The equity is going to go up in your property, which means in a short time, you'll be able to cash out, right? Refi.
and that's where you take
Pull
it.
out 90% of the market value. Take that. Now you have cash, quote unquote cash,
For
and put it
property.
into that next property.
And
And
that's when
again,
the ball starts rolling.
correct. And you could live in that next one and do the same thing. Fix it up. So you always have a place to live, and you're enhancing your property, increasing market value, and you're just going to keep on growing that pocket of passive income.
No, that's a really good tip for a lot of people out there who may, even if you work a full-time job, you can be a doctor and you want passive income, you can invest. Investing into real estate will never hurt you. It's a money game, honestly. You have to put something in. You gotta put some money in, but the money that you can make back from that from working such a little amount is a huge blessing that you shouldn't pass up on.
Yeah, and I just wish people had told me when I was younger. So I'm glad that we're doing this podcast to help people.
Money, so knowing it young matters.
It does matter. I mean, pick up one property. Sure, you might find a multifamily and you might say, it's kind of dirty or it needs some work.
Yeah,
guess what?
Rinky dinky.
Yeah.
Make it better.
Yeah, you'll make it better. You're going to improve it and your bank statement will thank you. Your portfolio.
That's all great knowledge that I've even personally took some tips from you just now, just to learn a little bit about better ways to make some passive income for myself. And buying investment properties is my number one right now. So
it's nice because think of it, 10 years from now, like if you start today, 10 years from now, think of the money that's coming in every single month. You'd be able to travel the time or live, two different places, whatever. Yes. So definitely go out and do it. If you guys need any assistance with it, that's what we're here for. We'll guide you. We'll give you the true facts and dive it down.
Okay, so after all the renovations, and that took about 7 months, you said, how long did it take you to get tenants in there? Did you get them pretty easily because you just renovated it perfectly and it looks brand new? Or did it still take a second? How was the market or everything? I just need to know a little bit about it.
It was actually quite easy. So if you put in nice touches, you'll find a lot of tenants, but you'll get the right people. And right. I think that's key. So the downstairs, we found a single girl who was just out of college, moving to the area, and she's great. So she's there. She's downstairs. She pays $13.50 a month, it's only a 1-bedroom with an office. There's another room, but we call it a 1-bedroom. So she's month to month. I do my leases always month to month. I never want to lock anyone in because if it's not working out for either side, I would much rather have them give me a month's notice and leave and I can replace them. And if they're not paying, I can get rid of them.
Have you had any issues with any of your tenants?
No issues with the tenants. I do have one tenant that occasionally pays late, but will always pay. Okay. They're usually about a week late, but they're a young couple. They got kids and I understand that it is a business. So I have told them that it can't continue like that. There is,
there's a deadline and a date.
Right, to pay the rent. But I don't want to say I'm flexible, but I'm understanding. Yeah. So, he just told me again that he's going to be late this month. It's fine. It's a week late. I understand.
Do you add late fees?
Yes. So in my contracts, I put $50 late fee and they pay that every time they're late. They never try to, get out of paying it. They just know. And then the other tenant I found for property number 2 upstairs, the one that was all redone, that actually finished just in time for short-term rental. So we furnished that and we started renting that out for short term. And we were including utilities and we were getting $1,900 a month. And then after that short-term tenant left, we were introduced to a couple that had a fire in the Waterford Half Moon area. And so they were displaced and it was just a couple and they needed a place to rent. So we rent to them. They pay $19.50 a month and they pay for their own utilities. It's pretty good. They're great tenants. Hopefully they stay.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. So it seems like it's working pretty well for you. Do you only have 2 investment properties or?
We bought one more.
Okay.
So the end of last year, we did pick up another property and this time we did not cash out on property number 2. We're holding that equity in there for the right property and we will do that in the future. But we just took out investment loan with Community Bank. They allow 10% down and their interest rates were pretty good. And so we just took out a loan for that third one. That was $180,000, 2 family. And we're doing work to the upstairs right now. And downstairs, we just ripped out cabinets in the kitchen and ordered the countertops. So that'll be coming in. We do have it rented.
Oh.
So downstairs is rented.
The upstairs is being renovated. The downstairs is completed?
Yes. Yeah, we didn't have to do too much to the downstairs.
And when did that get rented out?
January 5th. So right after we
Recently.
bought it, we turned it right over. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
That's
So,
perfect.
and he
That's
pays
automatic income.
$1,400.
All right. So you're still in the midst of or working on property number 3 in your investment properties. And over the time of working with your other properties, I'm sure you've learned multiple tips on how to save money or what actual work needs to be done, what can be done differently from your first one. Did you use different contractors? Did you use different companies, different material? Is your son, how you said he was learning a lot in the first 2 properties? I'm sure he's doing a lot of the work. Or?
Yeah, absolutely. So my son works full time, but he does do these properties. So he's basically, we don't have a property manager. He manages these properties as well. And he's been doing the work for them. So yes, he just completed some flooring work down there. But as far as what you said, things that we learned. So property number 1 that we're talking about here, we didn't know any better. So when we needed bathroom fixtures and cabinets, where did we go? We went to the big box stores, paid retail pricing for not really great quality items, and, you know, probably spent more doing it that way. Now that we're 3 in, we have better resources. We are getting our cabinets at a much better place. The quality is better. The pricing is better, countertops. And we are using our same contractor with my son and my husband. He goes down there too when he can. So, you know, we are cost saving. Once you learn the skills on how to do these renovations or these improvements, that's where you're going to save the money. And it comes with time.
Yeah.
So some people might know right from the start how to do certain things, and that's great. But if you don't,
It's okay to always learn.
yeah, you can roll up your sleeves, get down there and put that time into it because you're going to save money.
And what my brother always says, what's cool about construction is you can watch a YouTube video. You said you got your second investment property after that. But first, we can jump back to your first investment property just because I need to know more. It just seemed a little too easy. That story seemed a little too easy. So what were some of the things that came up that were unexpected? So you said your budgeting for renovations was over. What were the things that came up? Like, did you need to do new floors or what came into that?
Great question. Yeah, let's dive a little deeper in. I agree. I mean, bathrooms, let's start with that. I mean, disgusting bathrooms. They needed a complete renovation, right? So we had to pull everything out. Yes, there was some mold behind, you know, shower, I should say both levels, the floors, everything in the bathroom needed to be redone. Okay. The demo of that and correcting things behind the shower, the vanity, needed to be done. New floors, paint, light, all of that. Then we moved into the kitchen. Both kitchens were completely dated. They were a mess as well. There was only probably 3 cabinets in both of the kitchens. So very small use of space. And we ended up gutting the kitchens. We did floors. We did painting, lighting, electrical, all of the cabinets. We put in granite.
Was there anything that happened that was very unexpected, like you didn't account for? Or
not in the kitchen, but we did run across like a sewer issue.
Oh.
So, you know, a funky smell that was in the basement. It was disgusting smelling. I felt bad for contractors and my husband and my son who had to go down there and deal with it. But that came up. That was like a backup that we didn't expect. So we had costs involved with that.
Yeah.
And then later on down the road, we actually had to do even more for that. So that was a real messy job.
That's what I want to know. I want to know the stuff that isn't all peaches and cream.
Yeah, that was a nasty, unforeseen fix. Okay.
Yeah,
So things like that happen. Behind the wall, some electrical outlets were not grounded.
Okay.
No overhead lights in bedrooms, you know.
So
things
when all of this is happening, you were calling in an electrician, a plumber, all of these third party people to come in, and that's extra cost that wasn't accounted for. So is that where that budget went a little bit?
Well, I just think the budget went over because things cost a lot of money, and I might, you know, write down cabinets, you know, I'm just going to throw a figure $8,000, right? Just throw something out there for this. But maybe realistically they were 10,000, and I don't have that number scale broken down, but everything is just higher. So I would say anticipate 15 to 20% higher than what you're actually budgeting, because you're going to see even changing the locks. There's cost to that.
Yeah.
Changing a door, threshold,
doors are
molding.
In general, so
yes.
There's little things that I feel like people don't understand. Sometimes I'll see on TikTok and people didn't realize how expensive garbage cans were. Go buy a garbage can for your kitchen. It's pretty expensive.
It's true. So absolutely. So I think the unforeseen costs were just things that I was naive to. I really didn't price things out correctly. Maybe I underestimated flooring, but you also have to buy 15% more for and different things. So I think that's where that major cost difference came in. All right. So we dove deep. We talked about rentals, renovations, real estate in the capital region, money, lending. I think it's time to reward ourselves now. You know what that means? Cookie review. This morning I stopped at Connie's Cafe on Broadway in Troy, New York, and picked up a couple of fun cookies. They look delicious. I'm excited to try them. So let's get them out of the package and see. So we'll start with the chocolate chip. We always like to try to keep that consistent with our cookie reviews. So I'm going to hold it up to the camera here and see if you can check that out. Looks pretty good. Oh, it's soft. Oh, so far I like the way it split there. All right, you ready? I'll definitely go for bite number 2.
Okay, well, 3 bites. Best cookie on the podcast. That one's moist, flavorful, soft, not too much chocolate. It's not the weird semi-sweet one. It's perfect.
I thought it was really good. Perfect size. You get 2 in a package. It was enjoyable. I think if
Not overly sweet?
No, not overly sweet. I could eat 2 of those with a glass of milk, put it in the microwave for 30 seconds.
Yeah, if they were warm.
Delicious.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But they're already great.
Yeah, I agree. That was a nice chocolate chip cookie. What would you give it?
I'm saying an 8.3.
Yeah, that's a nice score. I think that I'd give it probably a 7.8. It was a good chocolate chip cookie. Yeah, I liked it. I would definitely go there and get them again.
That's honestly the type of chocolate chip cookie I go for.
Okay, good.
So I liked it a lot.
Good. Yeah, some cookies are very over sweet, like crumble.
8.3 because it would be higher if it was warmer and more fresh, but given that was probably made this morning and so it's still really good for
an 8.3 and a what did I say? 7.8 maybe? I don't know what I said, but I think it's a valid I liked it. So good job. And they're not a bakery. So that blows my mind too.
Do they typically have sandwiches, no?
Sandwiches, salads, breakfast items. So yeah, I mean, great cafe, but their cookies are living up to it. Now I'm excited to get into this big one here, just to check it out. This is a peanut butter cookie and it looks like it has chocolate chunk on top. So pull it out here for you to see. Wow. And then we're gonna split it. Oh, that's
nice. Okay, let's get into this. This one's really soft as well.
Holy moly.
I'm making a mess.
I'm going to say, holy that's a good cookie.
That's a little...
Too sweet for you?
No.
Oh.
That's a little bit of, if you ever Cookie Shack, the one we reviewed on number 1, and a mix of crumble. It's
I think it's better than both of those.
Yeah, it's better than both of those. It's better. I don't even like crumble.
Extremely good.
This one,
in my opinion,
is thick. It has the thickness of them, but way better consistency. It's like those, just if you really wanted to care about your cookie.
It's delicious. This one I love.
It's a little more crumbly. That one I'm getting everywhere. Maybe it's just I'm a messy gal. But
cookie crumbs are good. I'm going for the 3rd bite. Do you know what you're going to give it?
I'm jumping around from all of mine, so it's not bites anymore. This one, I think I'm going down to the 7.6 because the flavor is there. The texture is it is a little too sweet, but not too sweet for me.
So we definitely have different likes when it comes to cookies, and that's cool because you'll get different reviews and different things. I'm giving it a 9.2.
Oh.
Drop the cookie bomb. I don't give that out often. A 9.2, I would get that cookie 10 times over.
Like, this is your cookie.
That's my go-to right there. All right, so Connie's Cafe in Troy, New York. Definitely go there. Check them out.
Turn me off.
Awesome cookies. Well, that was a lot of fun. I absolutely enjoyed the cookie time and talking about Capital Region, rentals, renovations, how to do it, how to get started. I could talk about that for hours.
Yeah, today was a really informational podcast. I hope everyone enjoyed it, and I hope everyone was able to take at least one thing from it. Hopefully it gets somebody to get into investing.
Sure. And if they need help, if you guys are looking for guidance, we can obviously help you out, give you numbers, run numbers, find listings for you, and let you know what would idealistically be a great property for you to invest in and how to get started.
Just because you're looking for off-market properties doesn't mean you can't get a help from an agent. We have the most connections. We know the most people who are selling their properties, and just because they're not on the market, they just don't want to go through the hassle of getting all the phone calls. Doesn't mean they don't want to sell it just as much as somebody who's on the market. So an agent's always here to help you, especially myself and Nicole. So reach out to us for any questions, anything you need help with to get started with getting into investing.
We're here for you. Until next time, check us out. Have a great day.
Bye.